One. Good to see you back on Mike's Choice One. As promised in our last episode, we are heading into rural heart of Sri Lanka on our way to the country's first ancient capital, Anuradhapura. The road itself is an adventure. This is elephant country, and the warning signs remind us that wild elephants may cross at any time. We were here just after Cyclone Dithwa. Parts of this road had been badly affected, and one of the bridges was completely washed away. It has now been replaced with a temporary Bailey bridge. Even as we drove, we could still see the scars left by the floodwaters. We made this journey with our dear friend Captain Sarathilla and his wife. Lunch was something special, a delicious vegetarian meal wrapped in banana leaves, lovingly prepared by Chandrani. Along the roadside, we stopped at an old Abyssinian pump, one of the simple but important solutions introduced to help rural communities to access water in areas where it is scarce. Nature always surprises you here. We spotted the dimia, known as the Asian weaver ant, carefully stitching its nest between leaves. You can see this here. And of course, as everywhere in Sri Lanka, friendly village dogs greeted us along the way. Say hi to him. Our resting place was a quiet holiday bungalow operated by the Sri Lankan Navy in a place called Oyamadua. It's about 30 kilometers from Anuradhapura. It's surrounded by jungle and with very limited mobile reception. It was the perfect place to disconnect and recharge. After a cup of authentic Sri Lankan tea, we set off towards Sacred City. Our first stop was the revered Jaya Sri Maha Bodhi. This sacred tree is believed to be a sapling from the original Bodhi tree under which Siddhartha Gautama attained enlightenment and became the Lord Buddha. Planted in 288 before Christ and brought to Sri Lanka by Sanghamitta Terni, the daughter of Emperor Asoka of India. It is considered the oldest living tree in the world with a recorded history. You can see devotees offer flowers, light oil lamps, And also, you can see the drummers doing their ritual drumming in the evening. The lamp which will be kept burning throughout the year. We then visited the majestic Ruwanwelisaya, built by King Dutugamunu around 140 BC. Standing today at 103 meters after restoration, the sacred stupa is one of the Solasmasthana, or the 16 places of veneration, and enshrines sacred Buddha relics. Let's watch these pilgrims bringing their offerings to the Saya or Dagaba with these drummers. The granite floors and the massive brick structure reflect remarkable ancient engineering skill. Following morning began with the traditional Sri Lankan breakfast of bittu, prepared by our naval chefs. After quite some time that I had the opportunity of tasting meals prepared by naval chefs. Signs of elephants visiting during the night were visible nearby, a reminder of how closely wildlife and daily life coexist here. Yes, look at the road. Oh, that was a wild fowl who took to flight after seeing us. Wonderful. We continued around this ancient city, stopping at Abhyavava, the first reservoir built in Anuradhapura by King Pandukhabaya. This marked the beginning of vast irrigation network that still supports agriculture today. Not only in Anuradhapura, there are so many other cities where we have these ancient tanks or reservoirs. At Tuparame, the first Buddhist stupa built in Sri Lanka in the 3rd century BC, we were reminded to dress modestly and remove our shoes before entering. We were fortunate to meet this senior police constable who was nearing retirement, who kindly shared his deep knowledge of the site and its history, including its connection to the sacred tooth relic before it was moved to Kandy. Wow, it was really great, and we wish him success in his retirement. One of the true engineering marvels of the ancient world is Kuttam Pokuna, or the twin ponds. This sophisticated bathing complex used underground ducts to channel water from nearby reservoirs, demonstrating advanced hydraulic design centuries ago. Can you believe this?
Hello, how are you? Hi. Good man, huh?
We saw some vendors. Please support these vendors, though they may be saying various stories which may not be true. In Mahameuna Park, we visited the serene Samadhi Statue, dating back to 4th or 6th century. Its calm expression captures the essence of meditation, isn't it? Let's get into that mood as well. Let us explore Abhayagiri Dagaba, built by King Vattagamini Abhaya around 88 BC. Once over 100 meters tall, it was among the tallest structures of the ancient world, which could even be compared to the pyramids. No visit to Anuradhapura is complete without seeing the famous Sandakadapahana, the beautiful carved moonstone at the entrance of sacred sites. Its intricate designs represent the Buddhist path to enlightenment. Let's have a look at it. So please keep in mind to visit this important place, Sandakadapahana or Moonstone.
This is Sandakadapahana. It's a complete ancient city of Anuradhapura. There's so many buildings which are done with granite.
Along the way, we met local vendors. This guy was trying to convince me that he comes from a family of craftsmen, which I knew is completely false. Anyway, if you want some souvenirs, please help them. We tested fresh tabili or king coconut, and on our return journey witnessed more of the cyclone's impact. Our dinner was simple but memorable. Hoppers from a small roadside boutique near Naina Madama Tottupala Junction. So please remember this place if you're passing, because it was tasty as well as I can vouch for the hygienic condition. Sometimes the simplest meals are the most satisfying, isn't it? We reached Colombo late at night, grateful for the journey. I hope you enjoyed traveling with us through history, faith, and engineering brilliance. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you again in our next episode, once more from beautiful island of Sri Lanka. Until then, Ayubowan.